have a testimony of you being different as a lecturer amongst many others. What life principles inspire this?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be on the National Men's Summit, and I'm glad to be here. We're talking about how I became a different lecturer and what inspiring principle I had that, and of course my personal testimony. For me, becoming a lecturer was a mission. I needed to become a lecturer because I had a sense of purpose. In my view, I wanted to impact lives. And of course, by the time I became a lecturer, I had a different focus in becoming a lecturer. I wanted to impact knowledge and I wanted to impact life. I saw every student that I had as a potential destiny going somewhere to happen. I do not see my students as people I'm just to impact knowledge into. I saw them as a set of young men that God had brought my way. I wanted to impact lives. I wanted to touch these young Nigerians. All right, I don't need to look for them going from house to house. Through the workings of JAMB, a number of capable, strong, agile Nigerians are presented to me. All right, so take for instance the university where I worked. We have about 4,000 students that comes in every year, and I saw these young men as God presenting their lives to me for me to impact within a given period of time. So I needed to put myself together and make sure that I'm not just here to impact the knowledge, but I am privileged to be part of their lives so that their lives can be impacted. And so that informed my uniqueness in both my lecturing and in my approach to their lives. That is exactly what informs it.
Share your experience with us in being different as a lecturer.
Like I said, I had a mission. And my mission, like I said earlier, was to impact life. It is true that we have quite a number of tempting things as lecturers. Of course, the money is there if you want to go through that way. There is a way you can talk to the students. But that was not my focus. That was not why I am there. And let me say equivocally that it is possible to raise yourself up and do the right thing. I remember this about 2 years ago, I had to be a visiting professor in a university in China. And there you have so many things. I had to interact with a lot of international students. And the temptation was there, very heavy. As a matter of fact, in that school, it is virtually the norm that most international scholars that comes there to handle some of these international students, they end up sleeping with them. So for me, because I came with a whole sense of purpose, quite a number of people were looking at me as though I am not a normal person. I mean, you can imagine that. I remember one of my professors, one of the Chinese professors, called me one day and said, you have all the African girls, you have all the people around, you have even the Chinese girls around. Why are you not doing this? I mean, you are not a normal person. I mean, that looks strange to me because I was completely different. But I tell you what, it is possible to stand out. Of course, I'm not saying it is easy, but it is possible. You can actually be different. You can dare to be different. And what has motivated me is the fact that I have a clear-cut vision. I have a clear-cut mission. I believe that everybody that God privileges me to interact with must have a touch of Jesus.
What are the pains or losses you have suffered for choosing to be different?
There are quite a number of things that you lose if you are a non-conformist. There is no doubt about it. You're going to lose quite a number of things. Now, one of the losses you are going to have is rejection. All right? People are not going to find it comfortable with you to relate with you. I suffered this as a visiting scholar outside of this country. I mean, to interest you that some of these things that we're saying is not only in Nigeria. You have it even in other places that you least expect it, or you least expect to have it. I remember that, like I told you, when I traveled out, I discovered that I suffered a lot of rejection because, in a way, there were quite a number of things they want to use me for, that they discovered that I wasn't just cut out for that. And they didn't like me. Quite a number of information that is very important for me, they deprived me of it, of course. And then you find out that you suffer, like I remember that generally they will always bring most of the scholars together and they will send you to, you're supposed to have a get-together and all that, particularly when you write papers and the publication became so wonderful, it's supposed to be celebrated and what have you. But I remember that in my own time, I was deprived of that. They didn't allow me, they didn't call me for anything. All right, and most of the informations, I get to hear it on the corridor when I'm supposed to be giving this information as a senior person. So you suffer rejection. Another thing I suffered is misconception. A lot of people believe that you are not, you are this kind of queer person, like they used to put it. They see you as an uninteresting person. Another problem I had is what I call emotional problems. And I give you an example, all right? In touching the lives of some of these children, I used to feel so bad when the people you actually want to help, the people you want to give Christ to, you end up finding out that they also have some misgivings about you. They look at you and say, this man is not just what we expect him to be. Now, I see a lot of some of the students themselves showing a high level of disrespect because they feel that, after all, we can always get to somebody better and we can get this thing. And let me say clearly here. It's not only lecturers that demand for things. Some of these students are ready to even give you without you demanding for it. And if they discover that you are not ready to take it, they can begin to show terrible attitudes to you. All right, and that could be highly emotionally depressing. All right, I experienced that. And one other thing that I discovered, or one other loss, is the sense of frustration. You find out that you get so frustrated when the people you are laboring to impact lives to impact knowledge into, they are not just receptive, all right? And at the end of it all, of course, they have a limited time to stay with you. At the end of their stay with you, you look at their lives and there is nothing to show for it. I'll give you an example. Some time ago, there is a young lady that I followed up right from our 200 level. And she's been with me, she's been doing well and all that, only for her to get to the 600 level and she had a mental challenge. And I needed to be with her. I remember that when she was writing the final exam, I had to go to the exam hall, stay behind her and keep talking to her. That look, the Lord will help you. And she was able to graduate. And when she graduated, I remember that by the wonderful hands of God, she got a job as a lecturer. All right, and I was so happy. And just this year, at about May, the father just called me and told me that, do you know that so and so person died this morning? It was so shattering. It was so terrible that somebody that you had labored for, that you look, this is just a 27-year-old young lady doing well. And for me, that was very shattering because I can't explain what happened. She wasn't sick. She just finished lecturing and she told me, she came to my office and told me, Daddy, I'm traveling, I want to go home. And that was the last I heard of her, only to be told it was her father that called me. So I had such a pain when you see people, young people, that have passed through. Now, the frustration for me is that what happened to this young lady? Why did the devil snatch this? Because you can't tell me that the girl that died at the age of 27 has fulfilled her mission. No, I would like to hear that. Not a girl I have labored for since when she was in 200 level. So these are some of the frustration that you see in this work. This is a major sense of loss for me, because I look forward to raising such a person and making her somebody. Looking forward to her getting married, looking forward to her being settled and all that. So these are some of the things that constitute loss as far as I'm concerned.
What are the gains that have come as a result of being different?
Oh, that is wonderful. Let me first of all say that I could put the gain in maybe three levels. The first gain you have is that God will naturally settle you. God will naturally take care of you. I remember that even though I was seen as a nonconformist in some of the places I traveled to lecture, I'm glad to say here that it was so shocking. I remember the very last day I was to leave China and they had a get-together for me. I remember my most senior professor looked straight at me and said, honestly speaking, we have found a person that is so different. And surprisingly, all the things that I have been deprived of, that day, the man ordered that everything be paid to me. So really, I suffered for it. But that suffering, it wasn't a suffering. It was actually keeping for me what God has in stock. It's so rewarding to be faithful. I want to tell you that it's so rewarding to be faithful. I want to say clearly here, I lost nothing. Everything they needed to give me, I got it. Now, that is on one level. On the side of even the students themselves, that you never took advantage of. Oh, you will gain a lot of things from them. You will get a lot of things from them. I remember sometimes ago, I also traveled out to work somewhere, and I met a young Ugandan guy who was studying human medicine. And by the time we were through, the young fellow called me and said, Dr. Adebayo, I want to tell you today that we never knew what Christianity really means until we met you. I want to tell you that everybody that has come before you showed us polluted Christianity until you came our way, and we want to eternally be grateful to you. We want to tell you that you have shown us that in the midst of every contradiction, it is possible to have somebody to be a Christian. And for me, that was such a great commendation that is beyond expression. And you need to see what this young man did. And I also want to say here that even in the place I lecture here, some of the students, by the time you have actually impacted their lives, it will shock you what they can do for you. All right. Just recently we had a program with the template, And one of my young daughters that I never even knew that this young girl is doing very well and all that. I didn't know. She just heard about the program. And then she gave me a call and said, you want to do a program and you didn't even tell me. And said, please send me your account number. And honestly speaking, she footed the bill, the entire bill of the program. Now, those are the things that are so encouraging. Just some time ago, one of the young students that I brought up here in Abeokuta that I trained, I worked on her. The Lord really helped us, to groom her. Just recently, just called me, and she told me that, Dr. Adebayo, I just want to tell you that I've relocated to Canada, myself and my wife and my 3 children. We're doing very well. That bubbles me up. That is so exciting to me. And for me, this is beyond talking about any monetary gain. You can gain a lot by putting your stand. I'm happy that all the students that passed through me, they had a positive testimony of the goodness and the faithfulness of God in their lives, of the fact that true and righteous Christianity is a possibility, and of the fact that yes, if there is no example to look up to, we can talk about Dr. Adebayo. That is more than any gain for me. And for me, I think that is so exciting. That is what I want to achieve. And of course, I gain the eternity of all of them. Because my own purpose, my vision in life is to see to it that anybody I meet, their lives are turned around. Jesus is established in them. And from the testimonies of quite a number of them that are coming to me, the testimonies are good. I feel excited about it. I feel fulfilled about it. And I look forward to impacting more lives to the glory of God.